Yo, what's up? It's Don back with another video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe. Definitely got to tap in. There's a lot of content coming your way. It's going to be a lot of like elevating conversations, motivation, that type of stuff. But today we're going to talk about the power of being around the right people. You got to make sure you have like some good relationships, and you want to make sure you have relationships with good people. So like, for example, you don't want to be in like toxic relationships, like whether it's a friendship or whether it's a relationship with a partner or something like that. You want to stay away from those type of relationships because those type of relationships keep you down. When you're trying to elevate, you're trying to come up in life, the negative relationships keep you down. It's kind of hard to really elevate, damn near impossible for you to elevate in a negative relationship. But also, when you got relationships with the right people in life, you could get a lot farther. I know y'all heard the saying that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And that's a fact in life. It's not about what you know, what you could do. It's about who you know. That's how you get plugged in and tapped in with the right people in life. Back to toxic relationships, you need to stay out of those, stay away from those. The people that are toxic are only going to keep you down. They're going to keep getting in the way of your success. Whenever you start trying to come up in life, they're always going to, it's weird, they're always going to find like ways to kind of come in between what you're doing. But the people that like are really like the positive relationships, the people that are really trying to see you win, see you elevate, they're going to be with you. They're going to help you brainstorm to get to the next level and stuff. But you definitely, when you coming up, stay out of toxic relationships. If you're in a toxic relationship right now and you're trying to prevail, you got to break it off with that person because that'll take all of your energy. And now it's like when you're trying to put energy into like, building yourself up, it's like all that negative energy from that toxic relationship is going to get in the way of all that. So definitely stay away from toxic people because there are people like that in life. There's people that, we all go through things in life. But there's people that go through things and it messes them up. And now they feel the need to, treat everybody like that one person that did something wrong to them. So those type of people, sometimes they didn't heal from their toxic relationship they were in before. Or sometimes they just evil. They just negative. You got to watch out for those people, And it's funny too because like, I've noticed like when you're in toxic relationships with people, not even like I said, not even just like a relationship with a partner, but a relationship with like a friend or a cousin, a person that just want to be negative, and every time you come around, they're always trying to bring you down or something like that. So when you're around them toxic people, they always make things about themselves. But a lot of times they don't know how to even control their emotions and they feel insecure about themselves. So now they're kind of like, you could say it's hate, but they don't hate you for you. They hate you for what you have and they don't. So it kind of be like that type of stuff be going on in their mind and they really don't know how to like deal with those emotions. It's normal to see somebody have something you want and be like, damn, that motivates me. A real positive person, a real person that's genuine and stuff like that, they see somebody that motivates them and they're happy. Like, yo, this person motivates me. I want to be like them. Them little negative people, the toxic people, they see somebody doing something good and they got to find a reason to make up something. Oh, he probably did this or she probably did that. Like it's they got some type of excuse for why that person there. Those people you want to stay away from. And even now, like when I go out, I don't go to those ratchet bars no more. But when I do go out, I try to go to classier, high class areas. The drinks are a little bit more expensive and stuff, but you start to be around people that are more like on another level in life. Sometimes on a higher level than you or sometimes on your level. And so you want to meet those people because moving forward, those are the people that's going to help you get to that next level. A lot of times they talk about pay for coaches online, they be trying, get a coach. But in reality, you could go find your own personal coach, and just build a genuine connection with them and build a relationship with them. And it might be like, if you, let's say you want to be a truck driver, go find a dude that's driving truck, go out there, meet different people. You might run across a dude that's driving truck. He could probably put you on to how he got his CDL and stuff like that. Well, that's like that with anything. You want to be a real estate agent. Okay. When you go out, meet people, see what they do. Talk to them and find a real estate agent. Okay. Like, get their number, build with them a little bit and start to like put yourself in those type of circles. Like I've seen people say stuff like, yo, make sure your circle is like, are doing things with themselves and stuff like that. But if you're not doing nothing with yourself, your circle's not going to want to be a part of you. They're not going to want you in their circle. So you got to make sure you're also bringing value to the table too. You got to make sure you bring just as much value to the table that they bring to the table. You can't just think you're going to be around people that's doing better than you and then you dragging them down or you're getting in the way. Nah, you got to bring some type of value also, whether it's like your personality, whether it's like your positive mindset, whether it's ideas and stuff y'all can all, build off of. You got to make sure you're bringing something to the table too. You can't just wake up one day and be like, you know what, I want to be around millionaires, and all you do is play video games all day and watch Pornhub. Like, Nah, ain't nobody want to be around you. What you bringing to the table? Like, and it's crazy too, because like a lot of people be like in relationships, they be quick to be like, you got to bring something to the table. But then when it comes to relationship with family members and relationship with friends, it's like that goes out the window. But in reality, that's how all relationships should be. You should not be around nobody that's bringing you down. Why? Why would you be around someone that's bringing you down? Only be around people that's building you up and want to see you go to the next level. Because the people that's bringing you down, no matter what, you're never going to be able to come up with those type of people around you. No matter what, those are the type of people that ruin stuff. You have like a birthday party or something like that. They get drunk and just ruin shit. Like those are those type of people. Want to make everything about theyself. Man, stay away from those people. Sometimes like when you're in a toxic relationship, it's hard to break ties with that person. It definitely is. But even if you was in a relationship with that person for like 10 years, 20 years, sometimes it's like, damn, am I going to keep going with this negative relationship? Or am I going to see this person for who they are? I know people that's been in toxic relationships for 5+ years and they won't break it off because they talk about we've been together 5 years. But instead of them being happy, instead of them both trying to work it out, it's one person that wants to work it out. If y'all both can't come to an agreement to try to build each other, you got to go. And today's society is funny because like, I don't know who be gassing these people up. Like people think because they look good or they got some money or something like that, they the prize. But in reality, you can't be the prize if the person you're with is not winning. How are you the prize if the person you are with is not winning? If the person you're with did not win, how are you the prize? You a piece of shit. That's what you is. If you're bringing down the person you're with, you're not the prize. I don't care how good you look. I don't care how many people want you. I don't care how much money you got. If you not building up the person you're with, being with somebody and making them a better person, if you're not bringing stuff to the table, and like I said, it don't even gotta be money. It could be just, you gonna bring you bring like the positivity to the table. When I'm having a bad day, you gotta be someone that brings that positivity to the table. That's what bringing something to the table means. It don't always gotta be money. It don't always gotta be materialistic things. Nah. Because a relationship should always be a two-way street. Whenever a relationship is a one-way street, it's not a good relationship. That's a toxic relationship. Like I said, whether it's with family members, friends, with your spouse, whatever, whoever it's with, if that relationship is a one-way street, it's not it. That's not a good relationship. Definitely networking is heavy. Because in order for you to go to the next level, you got to find somebody that's on that next level. I mean, you could do it by yourself, kind of, but you're not going to get too far. You could go to the next level, but if you really want to go like to the top, you definitely got to network with people. You might be able to go to the next level, but like you're not going to be able to like do what you want to do. Like you're not going to be able to be the best version of yourself, because at the end of the day, building a team is the best way to go. You should be building a team, have a team of workout partners, have a team of business partners, business friends and stuff like that. Those are the type of people you want to be around. Your happiness should not be attached to nobody. Nobody should be able to be the core center of your happiness, because as soon as your happiness is tied to a person, then the people and if it's tied to the wrong person, if your happiness is tied to the wrong person, they're going to manipulate you, they're going to play you. That's why I had to learn to be alone for a little bit and to learn how to build myself. I was in it wasn't like a situationship. I was in a toxic situationship. And I had to be alone for a little bit and kind of understand, build myself up a little bit. So I had to be a man and be like, all right, boom, what am I doing wrong? And I had to realize, I was still growing, when you're young and stuff like that, you just be acting off emotion. And that's never something you want to do, because acting off emotion can be you spending the rest of your life in prison or you being alone. You should never act off emotion. And that's another thing too. Like if y'all take one thing from this video, take that. Don't act off emotion, because that could really be, like I said, the difference of you spending the rest of your life in prison or you just being alone or you fucking up everything you got going for yourself. You tuning into this channel, I mean, you trying to build up. You trying to go to the next level. This is not the type of channel, the gossip channel about celebrities and stuff. That's not what this is about. This is about being a better person every day. So if you want to be a better person every day, remember that, because a lot of people do screw their own self over by acting off emotions, even with relationships. You might be in a good relationship with somebody. You have a bad day. You spaz on a person. You start pushing them away. A lot of times you look back on those situations, you be like, damn, I don't even know why I did that, So instead of regretting it, sometimes just take a breath, fall back a little bit, think about things before you make big decisions, before you act on anything. Make sure what you're doing, you're making the right decision. But even when I go out nowadays too, back to these relationships and stuff like that. When I go out, every time I go out, my goal is to meet at least 3 people. It's to meet at least 3 people doing something, because Like I said, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So if I'm trying to get tapped in, I want to make sure I go meet people that's doing real estate, because now they could teach me stuff that I didn't know. Vice versa. If there's a dude out there, he might know me, be like, oh, that's the dude from Don Talk. Oh, okay, let me go talk to him. I know he bought a rental property less than 2 years after being out of prison. Maybe he might give me some advice, and then they could come to me, and I'm gonna sit there, we might be having a couple of drinks, and I'll just tell them, about how I did certain things. Might give them some advice and stuff like that. It goes both ways. Yeah, so like when I go out, I always like try to network with people. Like I said, I always go to like high class bars and stuff like that, or clubs are a little bit too fast paced for me. I'm not really a club person. I'm more of like a bar person. So like I'll go to like a bar, classy bar, and I just, talk to people, meet people. But definitely, like, you definitely want to get out there and meet people, especially meet people that's doing what you want to do. If you want to start a podcast, go meet people that's doing podcasts. That's what I'm doing, actually. I've been meeting people lately that's been giving me advice on my podcast, like, because they're doing it already. So now I'm meeting them and stuff like that, and it helps me go to the next level. But of course, like, you're not going to go meet somebody one time and be like, oh, I just met the person I've been looking for to help me get to that next level. Sometimes you might meet somebody that's just, a random person. He's just out there having a good time. But that's why the more often you go out to those areas and you go around those type of people, the more likely of a chance you're going to find somebody that's doing the type of things you want to do. Same thing. If I want to meet a personal fitness trainer or whatever, go to the gym, talk to people at the gym. They got all these like these groups on Facebook now too. Like, and the power of social media is like crazy, because like social media is really a tool to get to the next level. Like, social media could be your downfall, but it also could be something you use to get to the next level. If you're just scrolling reels and wasting your time away and worrying about everybody else on social media, yeah, it could be a waste of time. But if you're up there, networking, meeting people, joining these groups, finding new things like that, social media could be amazing, because you could meet somebody all the way in California from New York. It don't even matter. You could meet people from everywhere, and they be on the same type of time you on. Like, whatever you're doing with your life, they could be doing the same thing, maybe over there, and y'all start building a little bit. Definitely, like, try to use that as a tool too, instead of using it as a distraction. Everything you do in life can either be a good thing or a bad thing. There's good and bad to everything in life. Nothing's just one-sided. There's good and bad to everything in life. If you want to go out and have drinks, that's what you like to do on the weekend, go out and have drinks in those nice areas with those people that are doing something with themselves. Don't go to them little ratchet bars where they be shooting at and stuff like that, because that's no good. You don't want to be in them situations. Like I said, when you're trying to come up, you want to be around the right people. You in there, you just chilling, they start fighting and stuff. Like, nah, man, you don't want to be there. You want to go to them places, them little high-class places where they might even charge you $10, $15 to get in, and everyone's in there dressed up nice and stuff like that. Like, those are the type of places you really want to go. The older I get, the more people I start to meet. It's like, there's so many different, like, personalities out there, and, everybody's different. When you meet people, make sure you meet someone that's, could be an asset to your team. You want to build a team. Everybody got a team. Nobody does it by themselves. You got to have a team in life. That's how you get to the next level. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are at something you do. If you're not tapped in, a lot of people don't care. But I'm going to wrap this up, though. I appreciate everybody that be tuning in to my content and stuff like that. We only going up from here. There's still a lot going on. It's not a green screen. It's the walls. A lot of people like, oh, you got the green screen. Nah, that's the wall. I'm the green man. Green truck, green, everything. Like, that's what it is. But, you got to tap in. It's going to be a lot of content coming your way. We're going to have more guests coming up here. It's still a lot. We're just in the beginning of this, So tap in, like, comment, subscribe. Put that notification bell on so you know when we post a new video. It's Don Talk. Talk to him.